They are 2020. Drive starts at the 14 for the Bengals. A sleeve on the left leg of Burrows, able to find Jamar Chase for a first down.
Wow. You know, I really thought after I saw him put the brace on, Joe, because I've worn one, that it was going to affect his mobility and ability to escape in the pocket, but he looks like the same guy. I mean, here's what he's been doing again all year long and certainly tonight, and just throws an absolute dime there on the sidelines, moving around, and it's Micah Parsons who's chasing him. And he didn't go to the sleeve right away. We saw him there for a good while, kind of rubbing on the knee. It wasn't until right before he took the field that he decided to go with the sleeve on that injured left knee.
Quick throw. Yosivas with the catch. And anytime it's the left knee for Joe Burrow, it gets everybody's attention. That was the knee where he tore his ACL his rookie year. But he has proven again and again how tough he is, especially this season. The numbers: first half, second half. His interception was thrown to Malik Hooker on a ball that got away when he was targeting Chase.
Well, he gets an opportunity right now. The defense, they can't blame the defense on tonight, whatever happens. I mean, the defense has made some stops when the offense has not been able to do anything the last couple of possessions. The defense has shown up and kept them in it.
Oh, a drop by Jamar Chase. But a flag comes in. Coverage by Jordan Lewis.
And I think it's going to be on Lewis.
Pass interference on the defense number 2. That's a spot foul and an automatic first down.
That's a pretty tough assignment when you get locked up in the slot here on Jamar Chase. You see the grab right there. That's when the flag came out. If Chase had been able to kind of play through that contact and catch it on the run, boy, there was nothing out in front of him.
Well, they've moved the ball all the way back to the 46. Looked like that, at least to me, looked like that happened further downfield, but they marked it at the 46. That's where the foul occurred. As Brown gets the most possible out of that run, got a couple of hits and picked up 3. Eric Kendricks again. You got a team coming in with the Dallas Cowboys at 5-7, and the Bengals coming in at 4-8.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, he's on the sidelines taking a breather, and anytime you see that, advantage offense.
Second and 7, quick throw. That's Chase. Getting blocks, including from Higgins, and a flag comes in right where those blocks were happening. Yosivas was out there blocking and may have committed a foul.
I think that's going to be the call.
Offense number 80. That's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
There's a look at it. Jordan Lewis, who he's blocking.
It happened right in front of the official. What did you see, Russell?
Troy, there's a slight grab on there. You can see it on this replay right here where he's got him. It's not the biggest in the world, but it prevents him from getting to make a play.
I like that you noticed my look. Yeah, I just didn't see a lot there.
Better view of it from the other side. And it's 2nd and 17. Burrow keeps. Flag for holding. No matter what happens, this is coming back as the pass is caught by Sample, but it was Parsons was flying off the edge and Cody Ford held him.
Holding. Offense number 61. That's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, they're trying to go play action and protect that and get. You got to get some help from the inside as they're working out this way. And instead, Volson he doesn't keep working, you would expect, based on the protection that's called off of the play action, that you would have that. Now, the official saw that hit. I saw it when it happened. He's the one who threw the flag to begin with on the hold, and he started to go to his hat, it looked like, and then he decided not to when Burrow didn't get knocked to the ground.
That's a fourth offensive holding call against Cincinnati. 2nd and 26. Here they come again. Brown over the middle is wrapped up pretty fast. Kendricks was in on the stop. Donovan Wilson helped out. Deron Bland all there, and it's 3rd down and long. 20 with under 3 to go, and Parsons out of breath.
Well, they got to get 4 hands on him if they're going to have any opportunity to try to pick this up.
Let's see where he lines up. To the offense's right. Third down and 20. Leofau coming. And got him. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. The rookie, Maris Leofau. Mike Zimmer really likes him. 3rd-round pick from Notre Dame.
Good blitzer. He's been good the last few weeks. Tanner Hudson, had Burrow been able to get the ball to him after he gave up on the protection, boy, there was a lot of space.
2 minutes left in Arlington. 4th down. Yeah, no doubt about it. And here's a guy, Scott, Kevontae Turpin, that can change a game single-handedly. You've got a rookie punter in Ryan Rico. And yes, you want hang time. But you also might want to find the sideline.
Yeah, I don't think you want this anywhere near Turpin if you can help it.
That's blocked. And picked up by Cincinnati out across the 46. It was blocked by Nick Vigil. And the offense comes back onto the field for Cincinnati. Here's the block.
Yeah, the block is made, and then someone, I didn't see who exactly it was.
On the field. On a kick play, the ball was touched by the receiving team beyond the line and then recovered by the kicking team. As soon as they recover the ball, it is dead. We ruled on the field, it's Cincinnati's ball, 1st down.
So it was touched by Dallas right here by Oruwariye, who was just activated. And that gave Cincinnati a chance to recover and get the ball.
Exactly, yeah. Vigil comes in and he gets the block. Saw the touch there by the Cowboys. Couldn't tell exactly who it was. And now it's, wow. A new set of downs for Cincinnati.
And the wide eyes of Zach Taylor able to celebrate here something late in a ball game.
Oh, man. You're talking about Turpin on the return, and then you've got Brandon Aubrey who can kick it from anywhere on the field, essentially, and what a weapon he is with under 2 minutes to play.
1 and 7 of the Bengals games decided by 8 points or less. They get a fresh start. Iosivas with a catch on 1st down up to the 49. He had 4th down and 26, and he ended up getting the ball back because of the block by Vigil and then the touch by Oruwariye.
Yeah, and on that previous possession, Mike Zimmer, even on 3rd and 20, was bringing pressure. He did on each down, and we'll see what he decides to do now with the game hanging in the balance.
Chase Brown is able to pick his way for a 1st down to the 40.
You talk about some tough running inside and some movement along that offensive line. They just hit it right in the middle. Alex Kappa, the right guard, but you're going to see the push, and this is some good tough running right in the middle by Chase Brown. Kappa, he does a good job because then he helps with the double on the tackle, and then he moves up and and picks off Eric Kendricks.
Each side with all 3 timeouts remaining. A minute 10 left. Burrow, sideline, Chase, spin. There he goes. Jamar Chase.
Not catching him.
Touchdown, Bengals. Brixton Wood is fired up. The Bengals are fired up, and Jamar Chase has got his second of the night, 40 yards for the go-ahead points.
Yeah, they bring 5 on the rush, and you're one-on-one outside. Deron Bland, he's in soft coverage and just overruns it. Chase makes a house call. You can hold him down for so long, and the defense had done it, but you give him another opportunity with the game winding down. It's just too much to ask.
And the extra point is good, but with that score, 3 timeouts and a minute 1 remain. And the Cowboys are down by 7 now. Jamar Chase on Monday Night Football is dominant. Tonight, 14 catches for 177 and 2 touchdowns. His first 3 games, he's had 100-yard games each time out. Tonight, through the roof.
Pretty impressive night. Pretty impressive night. They just keep playing, and the night that Joe Burrow has had, go back to this.
The punt block by Nick Vigil. So the special teams lets Vigil through, and it ends up advantage Bengals after the touch by Oruwariye. Had he not touched it, it would have been Cowboys ball, but he did. And then Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase took care of the rest. And York does his job by booming it out of the back of the end zone. And one other person to mention, Muma Jungmeta is the one who recovered the ball on that punt block eventually downfield, and Micah Parsons can't believe it. They get off the field, they get the stop, 4th and 26. The next thing he knows, he's back to work, and it's Bengals ball.
Yeah, he's beside himself, and I certainly understand it. The night that the defense has had, they've made stops, they made another stop, they were going to give the ball right back to the offense with a golden opportunity to kind of put the game away, and a special teams blunder.
Cooper Rush is able to find Lamb, and a good start to the possession.
And that's a good start. It's just his second reception of the half. So he's been pretty quiet. He's a good one to find.
Timeout is taken by the Cowboys. They have 2 remaining. Dallas comes in with a record of 5-7. Right now in the NFC, they are sitting in the 12th position in the playoff picture. We go back to the last time that Dallas and Cincinnati met. Cooper Rush was in the game playing for the injured Dak Prescott, and it ended on that field goal there in a 20-17 final. But now he's got to get the ball into the end zone. 53 seconds. They put 3 seconds back on the clock. And 2 timeouts. Rush stumbles, and down he goes. And the clock continues to run. Rush sacked by Hendrickson. What a year number 91 has had, and that brings up 3rd down after a loss of 8, and the Cowboys use their second timeout.
Well, you've got Chuma Edoga, the left tackle. He's one-on-one, but you've also got Rico Dowdle right here, and you would expect that he would give him a little bit of help with Trey Hendrickson, really the only pass rusher that Cincinnati has, but he doesn't even give him a look, not even a glance. And Trey Hendrickson, who's been relatively quiet tonight, comes up with a big play.
NFL high 12.5 sacks now for Hendrickson. And tip of the cap to Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator who's been under fire. It's 3rd down and 15, still time, 31 seconds and a timeout. Blitz coming, pass is caught. It'll be 4th down. That's Ferguson. And the clock winds. And now they're going to take a timeout. Dallas is.
And for a secondary, Joe, that really has been beaten up this year. And I talked about it earlier, how many big plays they've given up and the injuries you mentioned at corner that they've had this year. DJ Ivey there at 3rd down. He makes a, they're locked up and he makes a big tackle right there to keep this 4th down.
There's Lou Anarumo. His group has played well here tonight. Monday night postgame presented by Nationwide coming up after our game on ESPN. Last chance for the Cowboys. Are out of timeouts now. 4th down and 7 with 24 seconds to go. Rush. Too high. Incomplete. And the Bengals take over. Ferguson was the target. He was open and Rush couldn't hit him.
If he gets that ball down, he's got a chance. Ferguson was across the 1st down marker. He also had Brandon Cooks all the way to the boundary, who had created some separation as well, and a ball that just gets away from Cooper Rush. Here's the look at Brandon Cooks. But I mean, you said it, Joe. Lou Anarumo, it's been tough. We talked to him the other day, and his guts have just been ripped out this year in the way that these games have gone, and not being able to slow teams down with an offense that's been so dominant. They had a good night, but they didn't score the points that they've been used to seeing, and the defense showed up for them, and they walk away from here a winner.
And the game turned on the block punt by Nick Vigil. Parsons is beside himself. Vigil gets the block punt. But Amani Oruwariye, who just came back after a back injury, touched the ball. Shades of Leon Lett, the '93 Thanksgiving game. Had he left it alone, it's the Cowboys' ball. He didn't. Bengals took over and get it into the end zone for the win.